Hey, we're fighting beasts. Do we have to kill all the ghosts?
Yeah, I think it doesn't affect your time.
Okay.
Oh God, he's got tumors that are also little ghosts.
It's not a tumor. The obligatory Arnold Schwarzenegger reference.
He's not a tumor.
Not a tumor.
I can't do it as deep as you.
Well, I do have mad voice. Hey buddy, you okay there? You need to find me. Well, not if I have anything to say about it. Jeez, in the last episode I was still talking about...
that time you found a dead body on the highway.
Yeah. So, well, okay, so what happened is... oh, jeez. Oh, this is...
Oh, no! That's terrible.
This is gross. I don't like it. Reminds me of, like, little dots and, like, holes.
I was gonna say, it reminds me of spiders that are, like, pregnant. And, like, they...
When you squish them and then a million babies come out?
Yes!
Oh man, this new baseball bat is terrible. It only does like 60 damage.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I imagine these guys have higher defense and yada yada yada, but come on, man.
Well, you can equip a different bat, right?
Yeah, that's not even doing 60 damage. Lame. Omega, come on, man. Anyway, so I should have put it on auto. So what happened is I'm driving home down the highway. Let me just catch up everybody who may have missed the previous episode, but I was driving home is basically what it comes down to. And I see sort of this thing just on the side of the road, like just a from what I know now, it's a head, but I didn't know what it was because I'm driving down the road and I see this this thing, and you look by and it's like whatever. And I'm like, geez, that's weird. And so I drive down a little bit further and quite a distance away, and I'm driving pretty fast, so, you know, I'm covering quite a large bit of distance. Mm-hmm. I see a body, like a human body. Like, at first I thought it was just some dude lying there or something, and I slowed down just to sort of see, but there's no head, like the guy's decapitated, so naturally I pieced two and two together. And it was like, whoa, that's really fucking weird, and there was like a huge trail of blood as well. And the thing is, it's not uncommon for that type of thing to happen. Well, it's not common either, but like there are gangs that would do that. You know, they'll catch you and, you know, yeah.
Albuquerque's the same way, actually.
Yeah. So, so I saw that, and then I stopped because I didn't want to use my cell phone, and the guy was already dead, so there was no reason for me to stop. But I didn't want to use my cell phone, so I stopped at the nearest petrol station or gas station, and I called the police, and then they told me to wait there, like to go back to the body, and I was like, no, first I'm not doing that because I mean they could come after me, and secondly I didn't want to get involved because I didn't want to like take a statement, because then you get involved and you have to go to court and all that stuff, and I prefer much to avoid that. Especially
when you're dealing with gangs.
Yeah. And so this happened a good couple of years ago. It happened in South Africa, so I'm not worried about them. Like, why didn't you... But yeah, so that wasn't my first encounter with a dead body. Encounter, like I drove past it. But, yeah, you saw pretty much everything that needed to be seen.
Yeah.
And then my second encounter with a dead... Well, technically my third, but the one that I'm willing to talk about, because the first time I don't really want to talk about it. But
that's fair.
The last time I encountered a dead body was I was living in this house. I had just rented a new place, and the person who rented it out, it was a whole d-bag, but that's a whole different story. And the guy I was living with, this was a room for like 8 people. This house was like for 8 people. Oh, come on, I forgot to. Man, this is horrible.
Spookies.
I hate this. Oh, there we go. You can go back. Nice. Yeah. So what happened is I was living with this one guy in this 8-room house, and I knew nothing about this guy, and so this is very stupid of me to have done.
I'm starting to remember this now.
Yeah. But he loaned my car. He was like, "Hey man, can I loan your car?" But I was too busy doing my own thing, and I was like, "Yeah, sure, go get the car. Just put the keys back on the hanger." And so he left, and I didn't see him for the rest of the night. And anyway, the next morning, I went to go shower, and he had OD'd in the washroom. He was already rigor mortis and everything. I couldn't pick him up or anything. I couldn't move him. He was just this lump of dead human tissue. And like I was like, oh geez, what the heck do I do? Because I don't know what to do. It's like the first time now I've had to actually deal with a dead body. And 3 phantoms are left. Okay. Well.
You can go in the houses too.
Oh, what? And there are phantoms in there?
I think so.
No.
Spooky.
So yeah, turns out he was a heroin addict, and yeah, it was something that I just had no involvement in. But if I had known he was a heroin addict, I wouldn't have loaned him my car, for one. But else, at the same time, it was very stupid of his parents to let him live by himself, even though they lived fairly close.
Did his parents know that he was an addict?
Yeah, like he had just come out. Apparently, like I'd found out like from them afterwards because they were angry at me actually. Because after I loaned him the car, they were like, "Oh, why'd you do that? Didn't you know he was a heroin addict?" And I'm like, "No." And then they were like trying to like pinpoint the blame on me. At least I felt that way about it.
Parents do that.
Yeah, and I mean I get it, but at the same time, it was like, I mean, come on, leave me alone. I was like 21, 20. Yeah, I was like 21 years old, and yeah, no, they were ragging on me about it, and they were like, no, he had just come out of rehab, and he had yeah, he was barely out of rehab, basically. The time I'd known him was basically the time he had come out of rehab. So in my head, I was like, so you let the kid comes out of rehab, and you immediately let him go and live by himself in a student lodging? Like, that's not a good idea. Like, it's sure it's a joke, but it's well known that students are fond of drugs. Like, that's the time when you experiment, I guess.
Yeah.
And, oh man, I don't know where these other 2 ghosts are.
Oh, there's one.
How do I get to him? Waffles, come on! Sorry, guys.
Sorry, he has a tendency to bark at random. We have
he hears the noise, obviously. It's just what dogs do.
Yeah, but, like, does he have to do it every time?
Yeah, pretty
Waffles!
much. That's how them dogs work. Okay, I don't know how to get to that ghost.
No, I think you need to go up those stairs.
What's up here?
Yeah, no, you need to go into the house and go up the stairs.
Oh, inside, okay. I was like, what stairs are you talking about? I see. I see. And up the ladder and fight the ghost. And yeah, it was not a pleasant experience, to say the least.
I can imagine.
Like, I mean, I didn't react to it very much. I didn't really care. I barely knew the guy. You know, we hung out a little bit, and so probably that other house is also a way to get to ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for the most part, I didn't really know. Like, the most we'd ever really spoke about was, I think we were talking about Unreal tournaments at the time. You know, like this, yeah, maybe he's a ghost. Too much responsibility, stressful. Okay, it's fine. Leave him alone. I don't know where this other ghost is. How do we... Is there any way of, like, tracking down the ghosts? Doesn't help that there's a timer.
Yeah, okay, as long as you hurry, there shouldn't be a problem. However, do note one of the specters in the roof of the building. Okay, so one of them is in a roof, apparently. So this is what I mean, you should go into the houses.
Well, there were only 2 houses that I could go into.
You missed a few in the beginning.
What?
Yeah. Oh, there it is! Go,
hey,
go, go!
Mr. Ghost. You're gonna die with your stupid goofy face and your ugly ghost spores.
Oh. Just to finish up this episode, by the way, I have a story that isn't mine, but it happened to a coworker of mine, whom I wasn't terribly fond of. You know, she was one of those, like... You know, she was one of those people, I told her I don't want to have kids, and she's like, yeah, but when you hold your newborn for the first time, and, you know, one of those old school people. Anyway, she told me that when she first moved to New Mexico from Idaho, like, the first month she was there, she was driving down the highway, and it's, like, slowed down to a crawl, and by the time they figured out what was happening, there were, like, all these police and ambulance on the scene. apparently there was a decapitated body in the middle of the highway.
Nice.
And she was like, yeah, I sometimes miss Idaho. And I'm like, yeah, if I experienced that in my first month of moving somewhere, I would too.
Well, back to story. All the phantoms have been purified. Hooray, we did it, you guys. I've purified this place. Oh, I've got to speak in this. I've purified this place, but this zone has not yet been freed of its true pest. Where can I find Japhet?
Japhet? Who's Japhet?
The cat who directs the specters.
The cat? I don't know. Anyway, we thank you for helping us. But, that thing you have there.
My bat?
Yes, your bat. That's an awfully dangerous object. I'll have to ask you to leave the residential area. And give us your tie. You should understand, of course, it's a measure of security.
The tie has been lost. But then how do we go into those other rooms?
Oh no. I am embarrassed, I admit, but it appears that I need you and your puppet's purifying intentions, dear Boone. Valerie, my beloved brother, appears to have fallen off the rails of consciousness and into the depths of an uncontrollable madness. He calls himself Japhet and, in addition to being the royal agent he has never been, proclaims himself chief of the specters. 2 roles he has usurped, no doubt. Nobody in this world, I can assure you, has any control over the ectoplasms. Except perhaps the Queen, but I have yet to find any concrete evidence or testimony to prove this hypothesis. Anyway, Valerie settled on the roof of the library. And although I suppose this could have just been just a coincidence, it seems that the ghosts are swarming the corridors of the same building. I believe this is a perfect mission for you, full of all that gratuitous violence which you seem to revel with glee.
Okay, I'll go to the library.
I will follow you. You got a kitty!
I got a kitty. Okay, well, I guess that's enough for now.
Yeah!
Okay, guys, and see you next time.
Bye!